Hi, you're listening to
Dead Dad Disco
with me, Matty.
And me, Marina.
Together we're exploring the complexities, memories and laughter around the grief of our dead dads.
So maybe you like disco.
Maybe you don't.
Maybe you like talking about your dead dads.
Maybe you don't.
Either way,
we hope that you can get something from this. Marina. How are you, love?
How am I, love?
How are you? How are you?
How am I? So it's a very weird thing having two dads to grieve. Not that I want to, say it's all about me and my two dads.
Or boast about having two dads, if that's what you're doing, really.
Yeah, which is ironic because none of them were really in my life for a great amount of time.
So two isn't always better than one.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But how am I? I'll be honest with you. I think it's been really powerful for me as my friends have got older and they've lost their parents, to be able to have an avenue to speak about this stuff, because I lost Cling On John, first dad.
Cling On John.
It's sad that he's been labelled that, but we're going to go with it.
I know, it's great.
So dad is not my bio dad, but sort of he never even dated my mum, but he stuck around. Yeah. So I lost him when I was 16, and that was the most awful grief I've ever known. Anyone going through it, it feels like your heart is physically ripping apart. I had nightmares about it for years. It was really tough. But then I lost my bio dad, Bob.
Bio Bob.
I lost him a couple of years after I found him. So I've got to explain that a little bit. My mum took me away from my dad when I was really young. She ran away with me and he spent 10 years looking for me, couldn't find me. And then when I was in my early 20s, I turned the TV on. There was some chat show. I'm trying to think what it was now.
Watchdog.
I can't. It should have been. It was some cheesy early morning TV chat show like Trisha or something.
Okay.
And a lady and two other ladies walked on stage and my mum turned around and went, "Oh, that's your sister." And I went, I'm 15 years old at this point, by the way. So this is a year before Cling On John died. I went, "Sorry, my sister, what are you talking about?" I'd grown up with a brother. And she went, "Oh, it's your sister from your dad's side." "Come again, mum?" Anyway, long story short, I discovered I had this dad. They got in touch with the TV show. I got a chance to speak to my dad and my sisters, but I wasn't ready at that point because I had Cling On John. I had dad, I had my world. And then that fell apart. So it wasn't until I was 25 that I finally reached out to this whole other side of my family I hadn't known and met them, realised that I was so much like them, got to speak to my dad who had by that point moved out to Thailand and was desperate for me to come and visit. We communicated over video calls. But I didn't feel ready. I'd had my own son at that point. Life was super hectic. And it's weird at 25 years old that your life unravels a bit and then you're kind of trying to piece it all back together. So I lost bio dad about 2 years in to us building a relationship where he was learning about my world and what I was doing and vice versa. And I had to go to the most bizarre funeral where my new siblings were devastated.
Was the funeral, did you go to the funeral in Thailand?
No, so we did our own thing. So dad was really well known in the East End of London, really well loved. And obviously we had no body, he wasn't over here, but we all wanted to get together. None of us are religious anymore, but local church who knew our dad really well just let us have the church.
Just take it.
They just let us, we just ran off with it. No, they let us come in and shut the church down for us. And we just put pictures of the dad in the middle with a candle. And it's one of my favourite memories and probably the best funeral I'll ever go to. The funeral Cling On John was just tears and sadness and everything else. Whereas bio dad, we sat round this candle and one of my brothers, my newly met brothers, opened up and went, "Our dad was a twat, but he was our twat." And I was like, I found my people.
Classic.
And I'm kind of waffling off the subject here, but there was something really transformative for me, is that they described my dad and lots of things I didn't know about myself that made me change the things about myself. He was massive for, as you will know, Matty, I bring a lot of people around me. He did that, but he put his friends above his family. And so often they loved him, but part of their grief was hating him for the times where he did that. And it made me make changes in my life to change that. So I didn't ever really miss bio dad. I think I had a moment of, it was a different grief, a moment of what could have been. I had a lot of anger for what I missed out on. But with Cling On John, oh man, that grief went on for years. we spoke in episode 1 about us talking about the timeline of when you should grieve, when does that run out, and you saying around 4 years. I still had my dad's mobile number in my phone 10 years later, and sometimes still think about him, all the little things.
Oh my God, I completely understand that. I mean, I still have the WhatsApp conversation still from my dad, which is full of those voice notes. It's like, will I ever listen to them again? Or is that like, that's like, like there's no going there, is there? There's no going there. And like, there's still a Facebook account for my dad.
Yeah,
like,
there's
you know what I mean?
Bio Dad.
I mean, I don't get any memories from him.
No.
Or messages from him.
No, because he's dead.
Because he's dead. But yeah, there's all that's still there. You just don't do it.
You don't do it, do you? But I think having other people around you to talk about it helps you feel a bit more brave to do it. And when you feel safe in that regard, like my bio dad's got a Facebook page where we started bonding. I shared it with my other half the other day, and I haven't done that or spoken about him in ages. But I think, like I said, with having friends, have parents leave them, it becomes a safer space because other people are going through it. So I'm feeling great because other people's parents are dying, basically. That's where I'm at.
Yeah, you're not the only one, Marina, all right?
Yeah, but do you have 2 dads though? Don't think so.
No, I don't. What? No, I definitely don't have 2 dads.
I win.
You definitely win. Where Marina? Where the fuck is your dad now?
Well, you say dads, but we have to remember dads.
Oh, dads.
Yeah,
sorry, dads. There's 2 of them.
There is 2 of them. So I would say my old biological dad, Bob.
The bio dad.
The bio dad. Classic bio dad. I'd say Bob, as he was lovingly known, is probably still wandering around his jungle in Thailand and enjoying looking on at the house he built. One of his favourite things that he liked to do, maybe a year or so before he died, we'd have Skype calls, if we all remember Skype video calls. He'd call me up and say, "What are you doing today, darling?" And I'm going to work, Dad, and I've got all these millions of chores to do. And he'd really enjoy going, "I'm just going to go for a walk in the jungle, might see a tiger, do nothing really," in his East End accent as he did. I think that was a place he was really, truly happy. So I think with Bio Dad, I picture him there, still in the jungle out there in Thailand. He had his body burned out there in their village, as is their culture out there. So he didn't even want to come home to any of us.
Did he want his body burned?
Yeah.
There, doesn't?
Yeah. No, they didn't just attack him and be
Is that how he died?
It's all coming out now. This is actually a murder investigation. No, he died from a stroke, heart attack. But that was his wishes. So he'd married a Thai bride called Oi, which he very much found very funny.
Oi!
Yeah, he did. That was they took a lot of fun with that. But he helped raise her daughter as well. Oh. So he built a life for himself out there. At a point in your life, something we've explored a lot in this podcast, is he was one of my dads who just did things that were just not heard of at that time. And he was 69 when he moved out there, which is a point in most people's lives where you go, now it's done now, I know where I'm at. And he wanted another adventure, and he went out there and built a house in the middle of the jungle, which makes him sound really rich and extravagant. He completely was not. It's just one of the things I've got from him of, that sounds impossible, I'm going to go do it. So I think Bio Dad's doing that. And I think Klingon Dad, as we're lovingly calling John.
Klingon
John. He was at his happiest behind the wheel of his car, driving the length and breadth of the UK to visit all his friends and family, which is probably why he ended up being Klingon and Dad to me, because he just kept coming down to visit me. And I think he's in his happiest place, either there or, sadly, probably hanging out with his real son, his oldest son, who died sadly of a car accident. So I think he's probably driving around in a taxi cab with his dead son, who he's dead as well.
There's so many avenues for haunting there, isn't there?
I know. And haven't they all done that well?
Oh my God.
So yeah, I think they're in their happy place.
Probably stuck in traffic lights. So Marina, is there anything that is really... Oh, hang on. Oh, sorry. That was the gayest burp in the world. Is there anything that pissed you off about your dads, or was an awkward moment, or anything like that? Any kind of those things that came up?
Oh, for sure. So we'll talk about Klingon John first. Beloved Klingon John.
Okay.
He had this really wicked, wry sense of humour. And it's part of the reason we got on really well, because it really annoyed my mum. Like, I loved the moments where he would be able to get to the point of being so annoyed she'd end up laughing, which it took me years to learn that skill and not just send her to level 10 rage. And one of my favourite memories of him, which now it's a favourite memory because I've taken it on and I used to do it to other people. But this was like his trademark thing. He would do this, I'm going to play it, and it's a famous thing, but I never knew what it was famous for. I just knew that was something my dad used to do all the time. And he'd wrap his fingers wherever he could on something loud. I'm going to play it on a box and hope this comes out okay. So here we go. This is what he would do.
That's really annoying.
Yes, really annoying.
It's annoying because just the tune of it is really annoying.
And it is a famous tune. I'm forgetting now what it is famous for because all I relate it to is my dad going dun 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 dun.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's the horse one.
It's a horse one, isn't it? Yeah, God, yeah. Well, I'm sure there's a real name for it. But he would do this wherever he was, and it would always be a preempt to him starting to go on the wind-up of like, are you cooking that, are you, Kathy, for tea tonight? Which would result in an immediate, what do you mean? And I remember I'd hear the tapping of his fingers on glass or a wooden table, and immediately I'm rubbing my head now saying it, I'd immediately be like, oh God, here we go. But then I almost loved him for it as well, so it's an annoyance and a hate. And then with Bio Bob, I think it was just that he gave up looking for me. He wanted an easy life, he had enough kids.
It's like that song, being around the world, no, I can't bother.
Can't be bothered to find you. Yeah, I remember getting back in touch with my family, and I was 25, and they'd be like, oh yeah, Dad looked for you for 10 years. I was like, yeah, but what about the rest?
Yeah.
So yeah, really that. I mean, something small, something big. There you go. Thanks, Dad.
Cheers, Dad.
Cheers, Dads.
So we've spoken already about my dead dad dinners, but Marina, was there a dead dad dinner that you had in your life?
Do you know, this is interesting because we talked about good old Richard and his trash can curries. I've renamed it that.
Good old.
But you had waste curries, which is also good. But do you know, my dad, it wasn't a particular dinner. It was where he would go to eat and where he would take me.
Okay.
So I think this is where my love for like a really shitty cafe comes from. So one of my dads, I got two, but so one of my dads, the one who didn't birth me, but weirdly hung around for years and died first. A Klingon. That I loved dearly. It was called John. He loved a greasy spoon or a backstreet cafe. And when we lived in London, this would be his favourite place to take me, would be these weird, strange cafes that pop up down a back alleyway that probably don't serve very healthy food at all, but would be his absolute fun time, glory time. He'd be like, come and find this. And you'd be like, what am I even eating, Dad? What is it? Which I think has given me the love of, if I see a greasy spoon or some strange cafe, I'll be the one taking everyone off to be like, let's go check that out, whilst everyone's going, Marina, like, we don't even think it should legally be open. I'm like, no, it'll be fine.
I always feel like it's bad to go, or it's if you go somewhere with a moulded seat. And that's what I'm imagining from what you're describing, is that the seats are moulded and they don't move off the ground.
That was my highlight.
So it sounds like your dad's taking you to these places and you're instantly trapped.
Yes. Well, he knew how to control me. He knew how to behave with me. Yeah, so that's my memory of Dad. And then mostly him turning up to have... See, you got to remember, neither of my dads lived with my mum. So, and they never had a chance to like cook me dinners. But they would turn up to eat dinners. And I just... that was my only experience of dead dad dinners, was him taking me to this sounds really sad. I'm smiling, listeners. I'm very happy about this. I have fond memories of some dingy, dodgy cafes down back alleyways that were actually, you'd call them now fashionista cafes, wouldn't you?
Yeah, it would be artisan, wouldn't it?
Artisan,
like
yeah.
Artisan
I went to the first artisan cafes with my dad.
When actually the only artisan thing about it is that the sausages are double fried and they look like bellends. Do you remember this? Do you know those sausages?
Oh my God.
Got the sausage foreskin coming back off them. I remember those from the greasy spoons.
Well, I'll wrap that into my memories of my dinners with Dad. Cheers, Dad.
Cheers, Dad.
Thanks, John. Thanks for listening to us, turning grief into giggles and loss into laughter.
We're sharing these tales to help others feel less alone.
We're just getting started, but we would love to bring guests in for future episodes.
Got a story? Want to disco with us?
Get in touch with us, links in the bio.
Let's make grief a little less grim.